Jay here from Flipping Cars for Fun, and today we have a 2012 Jeep Liberty. Today I'm going to show you how I took this Jeep Liberty and turned it to over $1,500 in cash. I'm going to show you all of the ups and downs, the full process of getting this Jeep ready for sale. Let's get into it. So we just took delivery of our 2012 Jeep Liberty. Let's go over this thing, see anything that's wrong with it. Not bad at all. Clean body, no rust. I don't see any rust on this thing. Usually the Jeeps have a lot of rust. Overall clean truck. All right, so the first thing you notice that is it's extremely dirty. Look at that. We got pacifier up here. This is a 2-owner car. You can see that this is all messed up. We got a McDonald's cup back here. Seats are dirty. I mean, look on this side. Got a bunch of papers over here. We do have, I don't even know what this is, but I'm gonna hold on to it. I don't know if they changed it or they needed it. Let's check the trunk. All right, we got some clothes back here. And we got this nice WeatherTech rug. All right. Now I definitely have to detail this car, but I want to just pre-detail it, like take out all of the garbage out of here because this thing is out of control. I don't even know how people leave their cars like this. So I'm going to start off by just pretty much just clearing everything out. I feel like we're going to need this. Let's see if we find anything important in here. I think this pretty much goes into the tray. See what else we got down here. This thing looks important. I don't know what it is. Some candy, an old cookie. It's a bunch of paperwork, a bunch of crap. Oh, look at this. I was just wondering how I was gonna get those wheels off. Now, if you notice right here, there's pretty much locks. And I remember looking at the wheels and saying, they got locks on there. I wonder if they have the key for it. It looks like we got it. And that's the key for it. So we're gonna need these. I'm gonna go ahead and stash these inside of the glove compartment. I'm gonna put this in the glove compartment as well. And the rest of this junk, let's just get it out of here. Okay, so that's just the pre-clean. Of course, I'm gonna detail this car. I just want it to be decent when I'm driving around with it, getting it fixed, bringing it places. I can't cope with it like that. Okay, let's go ahead and take our Jeep for its first ride. Let's see how it feels. Again, if you guys know, love to bring the cars up to speed, give them a test, and listen out for any noises, wheel bearings, brakes, shocks, struts. So far, so good. Sounds good overall. I do hear something rubbing a little bit when I'm stopping. I can hear like kind of like the tire rubbing on something. I don't know what that is. I can hear something rubbing. So we took our test drive and I'm gonna tell you what I came up with and the things that I felt on the car. So first, I've been getting a lot of grinding noise from the back. Not a wheel bearing noise, thankfully, and not like a tire noise, but more like a brake noise. I hear something grinding back here. I don't know which side it is, but I do hear something. Now I can hear it more on this side. Let's take a look at the brakes. They look a little worn down, but not sure. Now another thing I've been hearing is something flapping over here, almost like is like some kind of plastic that's like flapping on the tire, and I can't seem to figure it out. It's every time I turn the wheel to the right, I'm hearing like a flapping noise. Sounds almost like a plastic like rubbing against the wheel, but everything looks good over here inside the wheel well. All the plastic is nice and secure. I don't understand what's going on. Now one of the major issues that I'm having is when I got the car in 4-wheel drive and I got it all the way to the right or the left, it seems like there's some stiffness in the wheel. Like it seems like the car gets stuck. But when I'm in 2-wheel drive, everything is fine. Everything is working perfectly. Let me show you. 4-wheel. I'm gonna turn the steering wheel all the way, let's say to the right, put it in reverse, and then when I try to back the car up, it feels a little stuck. It's like almost like stuck here right now. It's solid. It's almost like it will go, but it almost feels like it's like contracting, like it's just like in a stuck position. And that's kind of, I don't like the way that feels. So what I'm guessing is a transfer case, differential, something like that. We have a check engine light on, and we also have an airbag light on. An airbag light could mean anything, but guess what? We have no horn. Now, if you guys remember the Volkswagen video, when we didn't have a horn, it was the clock spring. Usually it's the clock spring frustrating when you have an airbag and you have no horn and your buttons are not working. So we got no buttons either. Usually when I use these buttons, they should work, you know, they should work with the radio and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and check the fuses and everything for this to make sure that it's not that. But usually what I do to make sure to see if it's a horn or not, I'll hit the panic on the remote to see if it actually makes the horn go off. So let's do that. We got our key. Now you're gonna look for your panic button, which is right here. I have the panic button. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this panic button. If the horn goes off, that means we have a horn and it could be the clock spring. I'm hoping it's not a clock spring. I'm hoping it's just a fuse. But I'm gonna go under the hood, look at the fuses. Let's hit this panic button first. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So we got a horn, guys. The horn works. All right, let's look in this fuse box. Okay, so we got our fuse tester. So I'm gonna look for a bolt that I could put my fuse tester on. Go ahead and try this bolt out right here. Now the object here is to test all the fuses, and you should see this thing light up and it'll tell you if the fuse is good or bad. So you'll see the device light up once I put it on something. All right, you see that? We got a little bit of light right here, and it is a little bulb here that lights up. You guys see that? It's kind of bright outside, so it's probably hard to see. So what I've done is remove both fuses that are responsible for the horn. They both look really, really good. They're not burnt out, but you never know with these fuses. I'm gonna go ahead and change these to new ones anyway, because sometimes they can look good, but they can be bad. So I took them out. Now you can see this is the space here for the first horn, because there's 2 horns on this car. There's one here, one here. So I took those 2 out. Now the next thing I'm going to do to triple check this is I'm going to go ahead and hit the panic button again on here, and the horn shouldn't go off. So let's go ahead and hit that panic button to see if the horn goes off and if those are in fact the fuses. Now you can see nothing happen. I hit it. Now listen closely. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but when I click on it, you can hear like a ticking. That's the ticking. That's basically showing me that it's basically responding and the fuses aren't there. Let's go ahead, put those new fuses in, hit the panic button again and see if the horns go off. So we got 1, 2. Let's hit our panic button one more time. Make sure we got these horns. As you can see, we do have our horns. They do work. This means the relays are good, the fuses are good. This only leads to one thing, which is the clock spring. If you've been watching the videos and following, I had to do one on a Volkswagen, and it's kind of a headache. I'm gonna go ahead and expedite that part right now. We got it. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is basically disconnect the battery. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want the airbag to blow up in my face. Whenever you're changing something like that, you wanna make sure that you disconnect the battery. So based off my research online, there are 2 10 bolts on each side to remove the airbag. We're gonna get those off right now. Now that we have the plastic off, we have the airbag off, we gotta remove the steering wheel. But you wanna make sure that your wheels are straight, and my wheels are directly straight before you take off the steering wheel, because you don't wanna have any problems once you take off the steering wheel. See, I took off my jacket because I'm trying to get the steering wheel off. I don't have a puller. Trying my best to get it off. There we go. Okay, here's our clock spring. We're gonna go get the new one and make sure that it matches. Let's see how she looks. Let's take a look at it. So you can see it looks the same. I just gotta turn this all the way up here. So that's exactly where that one is at. That means that's the middle. We're gonna go ahead and change this one out. We have a few screws we gotta take out. Let's take them out. So as you can see, our wipers and signals are connected to the clock spring itself. So we have to remove these and put them onto the new clock spring. So let's go ahead and connect this battery back together. And just like my Volkswagen video, I'm getting kind of nervous because I'm really hoping that the issue was the clock spring. I mean, we tested everything, so this should definitely do it. The key in the ignition, and we're gonna start the car. Stay away from this airbag because this is my second time doing this. And we're gonna hit the horn. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Yes. Imagine the airbag just hits me. I don't know, guys. I'm getting pretty good at solving this. I mean, it's basic mathematics, right? You did check the relays. We checked the fuse. Only one thing left is the clock spring, and the airbag light was on, so it's pretty simple. Another clock spring in the books. This is my second one. I'm extremely proud of myself, guys. If I could do it, you could do it. Let's go ahead and check the codes on this car. When I bought it from auction, they did say it had a P0420, which could be the catalytic converter or simply just an oxygen sensor. Let's scan this thing. Let's go ahead and turn our key. Let's see what's going on in this scanner. Let's read codes, let's enter. Stored codes is a P0430. It's the Cadillac system efficiency below threshold bank 2. And that's that one code we got. That's the one they gave us, the P0430. So we know which code we have, we're good to go. We know exactly which code it is. Okay, it's time to get dirty. Now we know our code is the P0430, and that's gonna be the oxygen sensors. Bank 2, which is the lower sensors. The cool part about this Jeep is that it's pretty raised up in the air, so all I have to do is just get under there and try my best to loosen up these two sensors. Now I'm gonna change both sides because I don't wanna change one and then the other one starts acting up. So now if you guys do wanna see me get a lift, like and comment, guys. Let's get this channel going so I can get this lift. But right now we're gonna go into the car, let's go. So here are the tools that we're gonna need. I got a ratchet with like an extension so I can get some leverage to crack that oxygen sensor. You're gonna need some glasses. I look goofy, but when you're under that car, you know, little specks just fall into your eyes. And I also have the socket that goes on top of an oxygen sensor. This is specifically made for that. I'm gonna put this on there, connect it to here, break that socket, hopefully without having to heat it up. And of course, our two oxygen sensors. Let's get under there. As you can see, there's our oxygen sensor right there. We have one up there, okay? And then you have this one right here. And we have the same thing on the other side. Here we are in the belly of the beast. Pretty tight squeeze. So I'm gonna try to pull this one this way and see if I can break it. Let's see, I got it on there. Got it on off position. Let's give it a pull. Hey, we got it. We cracked it, guys. That's a good thing. Usually you gotta heat these things up. This is really good. And this one's actually the harder side. It's a little tighter on this side. The other side looks easy, but I like to get the harder things done first because who wants to do the easy stuff first, you know? Okay, we're gonna go ahead. We cracked that oxygen sensor as you've seen. We're gonna go ahead and plug the new one in. We're gonna crack the other side and do the same thing. So this one's a bit different because as you can see, I have the wrench on here, but I have no leverage. So I'm gonna jack this up and basically try to crack it from there. But this one's right here. The other one was a little bit higher. So hopefully this gives me enough leverage to be able to pull the ratchet to break that oxygen sensor. Safety first, just making sure my arm isn't clear. I'm gonna grab the tire, lean against the tire. If it does come down, I got my arm right here, nothing could really happen, so. Here we go, we got it. That's why the lift is so important, because you have that leverage where you can kind of stand under it. You can put a long pipe, a breaker bar, and just break these stubborn sensors, bolts, stuff like that. So when you're on the floor, you can't really do it. Get this one out, get the new one in. There we go. Now, negative comments don't bother me. A lot of people, you know, that leave negative comments like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, or you didn't do this right, you didn't do that. Doesn't bother me. The negative comments that bother me are the ones when someone feels like they can't do it. I had a guy say, I have no mechanical background. I want to start flipping cars, but I don't know how I'm gonna get into it because I don't know how to do anything. And I just want to let you guys out there know, I don't have a mechanical background as well. I'm just out here just doing what I got to do, figuring it out as I go with you guys. So don't be negative on yourself, telling yourself you can't do it. I don't want to see comments like that. Those are the only negative comments that bother me. Anything else, I'm learning as I go with you guys. We're learning together. All right. All right, guys, bit of a struggle, but our oxygen sensors are in. Only thing left now to do is to clear all the monitors, ride this thing out, and hopefully our codes don't pop back up. All right, so here's what's going on. I wanted to go ahead and get the differential problem checked out. So we went to my boy Christian's shop. Here's what he said. So you're saying the brake pads and the rotors maybe? Or?
Yeah, and hopefully not a caliper.
Okay.
Caliper would be the last key.
Oh, okay, I got you. See if it's seized up or not.
Correct.
Gotcha. And then the biggest issue is the differential.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question. Can I just like change it out, or would I have to rebuild it?
You can do either. Sometimes the cost of replacement is cheaper than the cost of repair.
That's what I was thinking, like maybe get a used one.
You can use one if you find.
So based off what Christian is saying, the differential needed to be either rebuilt or changed. Christian also said that we either have to change the rotors, brake pads, or hopefully there's not a lock caliper. So that same day I made a couple phone calls and I looked for guys that know how to rebuild differentials. And it turned out that our differential only had a big oil leak, just like Christian said. So I got it resealed and got an oil change on it. So our diff is good to go now. Now remember that rubbing noise that I was hearing here? Basically the other guy who changed the diff, he ended up figuring it out. What it was a firewall cover. I'm assuming that cover was hanging down and touching the wheel when I made it turn. So that's pretty much what that was. So I'm glad we got that rubbing done. We got our diff done. Now let's go ahead, change these rear brakes and rotors and get this thing inspected, detail it, and get it out of here. It's crazy. So we're gonna take this off. We're gonna change the rotors and the brakes. Hopefully that caliper is not locked. Let's take it off. I'm gonna take a screwdriver and I'm basically gonna take the brake pad off of this caliper. So the caliper piston did move, so we don't have a stuck rotor, thankfully. We got the piston open. It's no longer closed on top of the disc. We're gonna take a look at these brake pads and see how they look. Put it to the side, and it doesn't look stuck. The piston is closed officially. Now I wanna take a look at these brake pads, see how they look. Oh wow, look at that. Crazy, this is like bare. Look at this bare metal. As you can see, that inner brake pad was gone, totally gone. And this one still has some life left on it. Look at the other side of that thing, guys. Metal on metal. Nice and clean. Look at that, beautiful. Especially when you're selling cars, guys, people look at these brakes and stuff like that. A lot of people notice when I'm selling them a car, they notice how the brakes were new. If somebody's like mechanically conscious, they usually notice when the brakes are new and stuff like that. They'll look at them and be like, oh, I can see you changed the brakes, or I can see you changed the rotors. There really are a lot of people who care about that type of stuff. Now that our car is all done mechanically, we had to detail it, guys. Let's go over the numbers. Now, all in with shipping, this car came out to $2,005 from the auction, shipped to me. Now, we bought oxygen sensors for $85. We got window hinges for $22. I did that off camera. We got our car checked by my boy Chris for $100. We got our rear diff done for $200. We bought our clock spring for $54. We went ahead and bought some mats for $18. Miscellaneous things like gas came out to $30. That was bringing us to a grand total of $2,514. We went ahead and we listed this thing on Facebook Marketplace for $4,100. We haven't profited yet. It's not sold. The grand total profit will be $1,586. I'm not taking any less than that. If you guys do like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. There's going to be another video that pops on the screen. If you guys enjoyed this one, go ahead and watch this video. And again, thanks to everybody that's been leaving comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get this channel going. Thank you.